Here's what I think. I think that this is probably the most challenging part of paper crafting. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for all of your positive support and encouragement that you give to me. Y'all, I'll never be able to say it enough. It means the world to me. Now, ordinarily, at this point in my videos, I'm showing you what we're going to be making. But I'm going to deviate from that just a little bit today. We are going to make a project because I do want to show you how what we're going to talk about can all come together. And what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about the challenge that comes with trying to match paper patterns and paper prints. I get the question a lot in my comments, how do you know how to pick certain papers to go with certain patterns? People will comment that they wish they had my eye for paper. Well, in this video, I'm going to try to help you realize that you already have that eye. It's in you. We just need to work on bringing it out just a little bit. So I'm going to flip to my overhead camera because I want to show you 4 unique papers that are completely different that we're going to use on a project, and we're going to make these papers work. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, friends, I have 4 autumn themed papers here, and they are all different. We would probably never think of using these 2 prints on the same project, but we can and we should. We also would probably not think, okay, if I use this one and this one, I probably shouldn't use this one, and I know I shouldn't use this one. Well, yes, you can. You can put all of these papers together and make them work. And here's why you can do that. Even though these papers all have different prints and patterns on them, they are not confusing to the eye when you look at them, and that's what we want to pay attention to when we're picking papers. You want to pick papers that have some type of a common theme. It doesn't have to be the print or the pattern, but when we look at these, we can see that all of these colors somewhat blend together. So when I match these, we're not going to have any single paper in this project fighting the other papers. They're all going to complement each other. So when you're picking papers, whether it's polka dots, paisleys, plaids, all of those can work together. What I'm talking about with color continuity, you see how we have this nice autumn color here? Well, when we look at this one, it drags across here, it's here, and then when we come to this one, guess what? It's here as well. But now we're pulling in this faded green, which also appears here, and which also can play off of the stems here. But when we move over to this one, we now have all of the colors all combined. Now I'll ask you, what do you see when you're looking at these papers? Do you see the continuity of color from one end all the way over here? The colors follow each paper, and that is what we want. That is how we're able to match even the oddest of prints with another print. So now I'm going to show you exactly how we can take this and make it work on any project that we're doing. All right, so I'm going to bring in my papers, and we're going to take this one, and I'm going to cut it at 9.5. Then I'm going to cut 2 strips at 4 by 9.5. Then I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to cut it at 6 by 12. And then I'm going to take 1 strip, one of the 6 by 12s, and we're going to cut it down to 9 by 12. This will be a great project if you have some scrap pieces and you don't quite know how to use them. This project will help give you an idea of ways that you can take those scrap pieces and piece them together to make a whole project. So now I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to cut it at 6 by 12. Then I'm going to take it, and I want to cut 2 strips that are basically 3/4 by 12. And what I'm doing here is I'm cutting my strips so that I get that band. And that's just for me to kind of break up everything a little bit. So I'll set that to the side. Now we're going to take this and I'm going to cut 2 strips that are 2 by 12. So now I'm going to take the pumpkin sheet and we're going to reduce it to 9 by 12. Then I'm going to take it on the 12-inch side and I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 6 by 9. That's what we need. So here's what I have, y'all. I have 2 pieces that are 6 by 9. I have 2 pieces that are 2 by 12. I have 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 6. I have 2 pieces that are 4 by 9.5. And I have 1 piece that is 6 by 9. This is what we're going to need for the project. And this is also why I'm saying that if you have scraps, you see how I have these smaller pieces? You could very easily use scraps on a project like this. But let's go ahead so that you can see what I'm about to do. So I'm going to take this piece right here, my 6 by 9, and I'm going to score it on the 9-inch side at 3 and at 6. Then I'm going to take the 2 pieces that measure 4 by 9.5, and I'm going to score them at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So that's 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to turn it on the 4-inch side, and let's just go ahead and score all the way down at 2. So I'll take that second one. Let's score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to take it and turn it to the 4-inch side, and let's go ahead and score down at 2. Now we want to bring in the 2 12 by 2 pieces, and on the 2-inch side, let's just go ahead and score at 1. And we're scoring at 1 on the 2-inch side. So we're just doing all of our scoring to get it out of the way. So now I'm just going to take all of my pieces and fold and burnish all of the scores that I made. And hopefully this video will be useful in helping you to realize that we can use a whole bunch of different patterns and mix and match them together. We just need to make sure that we are keeping some color continuity across all of those papers. So I took this piece, the 4 by 9.5, and that 2-inch fold, I folded it in the middle. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have 4 corner pieces that we need to get rid of. So I'm just going to get rid of these 4 corner pieces on the piece that measures 4 by 9.5. So let's just go ahead. We can angle here, and let's cut straight across here. Angle a little bit, cut straight across there. Do the same thing here. All right, so what you're going to have are 2 pieces that look like this. We're going to take the top flap, and let's just go ahead and add some glue or some tape, completely up to you which one you want to use at this point, but I'm using glue for this entire project. And I'm just going to fold that over. That just helps to keep the edges nice and neat. And y'all, I forgot one score. We're going to bring in the 2 6 by 9-inch pieces that were the same print, and we're going to score on one end at 1/2 inch, and that is on the 9-inch side. So score at 1/2 inch on the 9-inch side. So now I'm going to take this and fold it over, and then I'm going to bring in my glue. Put some glue on my papers. and fold that over. This is one of those papers that just takes glue very well. Doesn't take a whole lot to get that stick activated. So now what I have here, I have two pieces because I folded over that are 8.5 by 6. We're going to take these two pieces. We're going to bring in the piece that measures 6 by 9 that we scored at 3 and at 6. I'm going to add some glue to one of the 3-inch sides. And I'm going to take just a little bit of glue and put it along that bottom edge because I want to make sure it stays stuck. And I'm going to take this and we're going to put it down, bringing it up to the score mark, but not over that score mark or the fold mark. Now I can go in and just work my little stick. Flip over and work that stick from this side. Now I'm going to take my second piece and do the same thing on this end. So I'm going to add my glue to this 3-inch panel. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of glue and add that glue right here. We're going to take this and put it down, making sure that we are not on the score mark. And this is why I like to use glue, because I get that workable wiggle room that we sometimes need to get things right. So you see how we've already matched these two patterns? I think they go together well. So now we're going to turn it to the side. We're going to bring in these two pieces. And y'all, I am just going to add some glue to this flap here. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to take this and we're basically going to join it to the center panel here. And so I'm just going to take it and I'm pretty much just going to match my score marks. And I want to make sure that nothing is hanging over the end. Then I can open it and I see that I can slide it over just a little bit. But you see here on the end, you want to make sure that your piece is flush with the edge. So now I can stick this. And I'm sure most of you have figured out what I'm doing. I'm actually making a bag, but we're doing it in pieces because I want to show how we can use 4 different patterns and get a great look. So I'm going to take this one. We're going to put it right there. I'm going to flip over just to make sure that it's nice and even with the edge here. And when I think it is, I'll open it and work my stick. So now I'm going to take these flaps and we're just going to add some glue like this. And then I'm just going to match it to this end. But first I'm going to smush it around just a little bit and match this pretty much top to top. Then I can go in, make sure that I have the edges nice and even. And when I do, I can go in and just work my stick. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So I am just going to smooth that out just a little bit. we're going to add that glue. Take this piece, and again, we're just going to smush it around in the glue just a little bit. We're going to match top to top, and then we'll get that edge matched. And now I can place it on its side and go in and get it stuck. And I'll go in with my big old spatula and make sure that I have a nice stick on this. See how that looks? So now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here and a little bit here. We'll take this and we'll bring it up, getting it there and there. And then I'll go in and I will just make sure that everything is nice and even going down those sides. And they seem to be pretty nice and even to me. So I'm going to go on the inside and just work my stick. And so you see what we've done here? We now have 3 patterns on this bag, and they all work. There is absolutely nothing competing with the eye on this. Now we're going to bring in our 2 3¼ by 6-inch strips, and we're going to put them right there. And you see what else that just did? It really just smoothed out everything that's going from here to the top. So I'm going to add some glue here, not putting a lot on this little piece here. And I'm going to take that little black band that is going across the top, because that's going to be my separation point, and I'm going to put this down like that. And y'all, I absolutely love how this looks, and I think you will too when you start matching those patterns. I think you will love the look of what you create. So let's flip over. Let's add our glue here. And I have glue all over my hands, and y'all, that really is okay, because when we are crafting, we are going to have glue and other things all over our hands. So let's put this piece right here. I'm going to go in and just work that stick. And now, y'all, we have all 4 patterns on this bag, but there is nothing confusing about the look of the bag. Now, because we added scores to this, makes it very easy to fold, but I do want to add handles to this. So if you want to flat fold this, you just fold it all the way down until it naturally wants to bend. But I'm putting paper handles on these, so I'm not going to flat fold it. But if you're using ribbon handles or you want to add the handles later, you can go ahead and make a bunch of these and just flat fold them and have them ready. So I have my glue on here. Like I said, this paper just takes glue so well. I'm going to take my ruler and just give my paper some help in curling. So we are going to do the same thing with this one. Let's just add that glue. Fold this over. And now we'll just help that paper to curl by using our ruler, bone folder, whatever it is you want to use. But let's give these about 5 minutes to dry. Then we can come back and put them on our bag. All right, y'all, so I think these are dry enough. And what I've decided to do is to take some twine and some buttons to help hold the handles in place. But in order to feed this twine through, I am just going to take it and just roll it in glue and then twist the ends, and that'll make it easier for me to feed them through the holes that I make. So that's all I'm doing. I just put some glue on the ends and I'm twisting it like that. So now I'm going to take my handles, which happen to match this, and we are going to add some glue. So I'm going to take my glue and put my glue right there and put some glue right there. And now I'll take this handle, I'm going to put it right there, hold it in place for just a moment. And if you want to use hot glue on yours, you certainly can. So I am just going to take this, put it on, and hold it in place until my glue has a chance to sort of set up and dry. And y'all, I am using Reptile adhesive. It will dry clear. So even though it is showing on the outside right now, it will dry clear. Take my bone folder, go in and work that stick. And now I'm going to bring in my piercer and a button because I want to get my hole placement. So I'm just going to go through that hole and punch through, go through this hole and punch through. Then I'll take the button and move it over here and do the same thing. So I'm just going through and making my buttonholes. Hopefully you can see those holes there. So now I'm going to go on the inside and I am just going to punch through the holes from the inside because that's just going to make it easier for me to feed that twine through. Now I'm going to bring in my twine and feed it through the hole. The ends of this twine nice and hard, so it'll feed through like you're threading a needle. So I'm just going to take it, put it through here, and you can see it coming out this end. Let's just go ahead and pull it like this. Then we'll do this one. So we'll feed it through that hole, pull it, and then we'll feed that second piece through. And now we have these pieces on like this. I can take my buttons and we can put them through the buttonhole. And now I can take this, pull it, and we're just going to tie a knot. And this also helps that handle to stay on, especially if you have something of weight in your bag. You don't have to worry about the handle pulling away from the glue because we now have that piece of twine pull through and it's helping to hold the handle in place. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. Pull it through, pull it nice and tight, and then tie a knot. And I can use my scissors to just trim that. And y'all, look at the cuteness that these buttons added. Now I'm using some wooden buttons that I found on Amazon. I'll have these linked in the description box below. You get a whole bunch of different designs, but I think that they work well with our beautiful projects. So I'm going to flip over to this side and put this handle on. So let's go ahead and add that glue. Add my glue here. So now I'll take this, and to loop it, I'm just taking it and bringing it around like this. And then I'll just place it down. Before I stick it, I'm just going to check to make sure that the carrying position is pretty even. Feels like it is. Absolutely. I'm loving this bag. It is just so stinking cute. So I'm going to take my second pair of buttons and we're going to put those on. But first I need to get my button placement. So all I'm doing is I'm taking a button, putting it down like that, and just punching through the hole with my piercer. That'll give me the placement for my buttons. They won't be perfect, but they'll be pretty doggone cute. So now I'm just going to go back through those holes to open them up just a little bit from the inside so that I can feed that twine through. My glue is not completely dry, so that really helps the twine when it comes through. It also gets caught in the glue and it helps it to harden. So now I'm going to take my other pieces of twine and we're just going to feed those through. And you can see how easy it was to do that. So if you don't have buttons, you don't need them. You can just take that twine and pull it through, tie it off in a knot, and that'll just add to the rustic charm of your bag. So I'm going to take this piece and we are going to feed it through like that. And then I'll just tie 2 knots. The first one I'll pull very tight to hold everything in place, and the second one just locks everything in place. Then I'll use my scissors to trim. So let's just tie another knot and tie another knot. I have a nice little piece of chipboard ephemera. I am just going to add some foam tape to the back, and I get this foam tape from Dollar Tree. And let's add a little bit here. And I'll peel off that backer. Peel off the backer here. And then we'll take this and I'm going to put it right there. So I'll go in and just press this into place. So now we have what I think is a very adorable bag. We used 4 different patterns on this, but you know what? Not one single pattern is a distraction. All of them add to the charm and complement the other. So y'all, here is our beautiful bag. It is absolutely gorgeous. When finished, it measures 8.5 by 3 by 6. Nice size bag. Y'all, this is just one of the stinking cute ways that we can take multiple patterns and turn them into something absolutely gorgeous. I have another one that I made. This was the first one that I made, and I'm going to bring it back in. I didn't want to show it at the beginning of the video because I wanted us to walk through the build process together so that we can pull different papers in one at a time so that you can see that no part of this bag is competing with another part. I really hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that you'll experiment with using multiple patterns, not just 2, but shoot for more than 2 on the same project. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what it is you actually are able to come up with. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, all day, every day, this is what we do, y'all, and this is how we do it. And I hope that you will consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload a new video. As always, my beautiful handcrafty friends, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.